А у нас тем временем наконец начинается CTR, Crash Team Racing.
Alright, hello everyone. This is Crash Team Racing for the PlayStation 1. I will be playing it on a PlayStation 2. I will go into the reasons why later, but first, I believe I have to ask, am I playing as Tiny Tiger or Dingo Dial?
Эта игра изначально выходила на PS1, но hypnoshark играет на PS2. Мы чуть позже поясним почему. И, судя по всему, играем на Dingo Dial.
Refreshing just before, and I believe it is Dingo Dial.
Nice. So this is the character I usually play as in speedruns. So I was secretly hoping to myself that Dingo would win. So nice. All right. I will kind of do the introductions as we enter the first track, but for now, I'm ready in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, as I say, this is a game for the PlayStation 1, the last game that Naughty Dog made in the Crash franchise, and you could tell it was their last game because they really put a lot of deep thinking into the lore of this game.
По сути, Crash Team Racing является последней вышедшей игрой, не считая новой, потому что после нее выходили куча игр, которые не являются каноном теперь, которые никому не нужны.
Beat bosses and eventually get to race him and then hopefully win, but you know, we'll see, nothing's for certain. Alright, so first track, this is kind of a good introduction, Crash Cove.
Поскольку эта гонка, здесь не очень много именно скипов, но необходимо уметь правильно ездить. По сути своей мы обузим главную механику буста, который мы заезжаем до 3. Ну, извини меня, гонки немного скипов. В Need for Speed довольно их много скипов, особенно в Карбоне, если я правильно помню. Или в Most Wanted тоже там половина черного списка просто скипается.
Which I'll explain now. It's called reserves. I will refer to it as such. Basically, what it is.
Это не совсем клон Mario Kart, потому что он куда более хардкорный.
I am running out of reserves, and every time I boost, I am gaining reserves. So it's basically a massive tug of war.
Соответственно, основной способ передвигаться.
So as you can see on Crash Code, I basically kept
это буст.
Up for the entire race, and because of that I was able to keep my speed up for the entire race and do it pretty fast. That's the foundation, I suppose, of this speed, and that's what you'll be seeing a lot of. Uka now flies in to give us a hint. We don't care because I like to think I already know what he's going to say. Maybe I do, but maybe I should have listened.
Наша задача является пройти энное количество гонок, я точно, что, к сожалению, не помню, для того, чтобы открыть босса, новую локацию и так до самого конца. Босс-файт — это заезд 1 на 1. Вот там вот больше всего интересности будет.
Holding L1 and mashing R1 like this, and I can maintain the speed that the downhill gives me. This is probably the second biggest speed tech behind just keeping reserves high.
И помимо буста, также вторым главным способом сохранять скорость является мэшинг. Правильно помню, это L1 на геймпаде, кнопочку прыжка.
Okay, that's cracked. That's absolutely insane. Wow, okay. Was not expecting that at all. This has been a brilliant ruse too.
Все искусство вторично, что сказать. Ничего лучше, чем на скале рисунки, не может быть.
You'll actually be seeing that track twice. There are 5 tracks in this run, but you will see twice because you also race the bosses on them.
Хоть мы и катаемся на разных треках, но боссы не все, если я правильно помню, повторяют один из треков. В данном случае это вот наш предыдущий трек. Поэтому мы к нему еще раз вернемся. Того, на каждой локации нам необходимо проехать 4 трассы и один босс. Плюс финальный. Итого 21.
You will see that I currently have 0 Wumper. However, on this track, it is actually worth it to get Wumper. And what Wumper is going to do for me is, with every Wumper I get, my speed increases by about 0.2%, my base speed. So if I was just to hold X, I am going faster now with 10 Wumper than I would have been with 0. So getting 10 is quite nice, although it's actually not necessary, because getting 9 Wumper does the same amount. For some reason, I don't know if this was by design or not, but basically the 10th Wumper doesn't actually increase your speed compared to 9, it just makes your item stronger. So as you can see, I have a you probably noticed I haven't been talking much about the items.
Здесь есть еще и предметы. Сейчас ранее говорит о том, что игра смотрит на то, какие вы находитесь по позиции, и из этого выбирает вам предмет из ящика, либо атакующий, либо защитный, либо ловушки. Естественно, когда вы находитесь впереди, вам чаще всего будут давать зелье, которое можно кинуть назад, шилд. Но нам это не очень интересно. Так, небольшой факт. Единственное, кроме правильного движения, что нам нужно делать, это, конечно же, знать и попадать в тайминги наших уровней. Особенно это будет чуть позже важно в замке.
Once again, we will skip Yuka talking because, frankly, we do not care for what he has to say. And we will go straight to Sewer Speedway. The cycles I mentioned are really important here. The main reason being, you can actually go too fast, and you can also go too slow.
Один из самых первых уровней, где нам крайне важно попадать в циклы, потому что мы здесь не можем поехать ни слишком быстро, ни слишком медленно, потому что иначе мы не сможем нормально проехать.
There will be a lot of unintentional shortcuts, I assure you, later into this run. This is another speed ghost right here. You can get one off of the wall and go absolutely flying. And that was actually, dare I say optimal, that was really, really powerful. That was really, really nice. I should actually mention, I'll mention it on lap 3, but off of certain jumps in this game, you can do a thing called a double jump or a crest. It's sometimes referred to as cresting.
Как вы видите, hypnoshark прям очень хорошо попадает в цикл.
You just hit R1 twice whilst holding L1, and you can get a double jump. So the example is right here. Basically, you just hit jump twice, and you get propelled a little bit further than you otherwise would, which is lovely. And then the intended shortcut again. You actually don't want to go the intended way through the intended shortcut. The shortcut intends for you to stay on path and go like up the top of where the mini-map is. Like if you look at the mini-map, there's a little top area. Yeah, we're never going to go there in this level just because it's slow to go wide and all the way around. Instead, you just kind of drop off to the right like that. So Okay, this has been a really good hub 1 so far. I cannot complain at all.
Нас
First boss
знакомят
race
с боссом.
run, Rickaroo. We will be heading back
Rickaroo.
to Ruse Tubes for plenty of speed ghosts. Hopefully
Rickaroo.
they're as good as the lap 2 last time, because that was, I mean,
Собственно,
goodness, that was insane. But yeah, we'll see.
Еще раз,
Gimmicks
это
with
же трасса.
bosses are that if you're behind them, they can put like infinite items behind them. So hopefully you'll see on lap 3. Actually, you saw a little bit there. There was a TNT above where I was driving. But you'll definitely see it on lap 3 as long as I play well.
Когда вы едете позади,
That
вы
if we get
сможете
close to
увидеть
lapping him, the TNTs that Rickaroo infinitely puts behind him will
бесконечные
actually
TNT,
catch
которые
up to, and they might be a
Рикару
slight problem.
после себя оставляет, но поскольку мы
It's
едем
technically
спереди,
RNG where he puts
мы
them,
их
but there are
можем
set cycles.
максимум
There's just
нагнать,
too many
но
to
и
really
то
name.
не факт.
So it's basically RNG. I mean, there's so many variables, and that's not to mention if you item him. So for instance, I have a TNT right now. If I was, let's say, to place that behind me and he would run into it, that would mess up the next lap's cycles for Rickaroo placing TNTs. But on the whole, this wasn't bad. Yeah,
Вот,
as you can see, I'm
собственно,
kind
мы
of catching up to the
догнали
TNTs now.
TNT, они взрываются.
None of them were in the way of me, luckily, so we're good. That is, that's awesome. That's just an awesome hub 1. I'm very, very happy with that. Yeah, that's sweet. Okay, so now we'll be in Rickaroo, and whilst we make our way to hub 2, I think we have some time for donations, I believe.
Alrighty, we have a bunch. Oh my gosh, we have a $10 donation from Undertaker that says, yes, Crash Team Racing incoming. Difficult game and excited to see a master. MJ Hay
всякие
donates
гробовщики
$20 that says, hey Hypno, as you know, I'm a big fan and I hope you have an amazing run. I'm so excited to see you in GDQ. Callum also donates $20 that says, Hypno Weird, let's go Sam, you legend. We're all so proud of you for getting the 48 and now getting GDQ. Keep calm and avoid Coco. I'm assuming there's a lore I'm not understanding here.
Yeah, so I'll actually explain here
Так,
because this is
Tiger
a pretty
Temple.
good time to.
Следующий трек.
So Coco is a character in Crash, and Coco, for some reason, is just the most aggressive AI towards me. The amount of runs that Coco is killed by me lapping her and her just iteming me for no reason is just ridiculous. But speaking
Как
of
говорит
RNG,
сейчас Hypnoshark,
we have our first
Коко
RNG-based
очень
shortcut
агрессивный искусственный
here.
интеллект.
This is the only
И
intended RNG-based shortcut.
Довольно
More
большое
on
количество
that
ранов своей
later,
агрессии она
but
испортила ему.
there it was.
Поэтому ему пожелали,
There's actually
чтобы
a thing I
Коко
should
не
mention
встретилась по
instead.
дороге.
As there are some items that don't work on this level to open the shortcut, and some items that do. For instance, a nitro doesn't work, but a bomb does. If I was to get a shield item, and then follow it up by getting a nitro, I can actually place the nitro in the way of the door, and then the door for the shortcut won't come back up, and it will just stay open forever. It's a pretty cool
Используя
find. Whoever found it.
небольшие
shout out.
хитрости с нитроящиком, можно было бы
But
оставить
yeah,
дверь
that was
открытой
3 out of 3.
постоянно.
That was not bad. That was
Но
wow.
благодаря
Okay.
тому, что
This run is going
3 раза находили нужный
sick
итем,
so far.
то
This
и
is
получилось
really
3 раза
good.
открыть
Oh, hello. Speaking of AI trying to missile me,
шорткат.
wow, shocker. Luckily I had a nitro to block it, so we're good. This is why you always look back on that section, by the way, because you never know if an AI who you've lapped is just gonna try and destroy you. Okay, so next track.
Агрессивный искусственный интеллект
Coco
хочет
Park.
убить
Back in
тебя.
the day, I would have been like, okay, time for some donations. But now it's actually quite an interesting level. Probably the most basic level. This is probably the best place to learn how to play this game because it's very, low risk, but you can't really fall off. So I recommend, like, if you're learning this game, practicing here a lot of the time, because You can just practice keeping reserves.
Как
Like
говорит
this.
Гипно, парк Коко можно
There's only
использовать
really this shortcut to
для
speak of, but
обучения,
also the reason
в
why I
принципе,
say
основным механикам,
it's gotten a
потому что
little
это
bit more
самая
interesting is
простая
because there are speed
трасса
ghosts down
из
this
всех
hill,
для этого.
which you can then froggy. By the way, that's the technical term for when I hold L1 and mash R1 like this. That's called froggying, but it's usually combined with a speed ghost. So I usually just refer to the whole thing as a speed ghost. And this shortcut here, as I say. And that's not too bad. I got a little speed ghost out of that downhill there. That's nice as well. Yeah, lovely so far. This level does have a little bit of RNG in the fact that if an AI gets a better start than you, which happens fairly often, you can actually from the first iron box get a mask.
На этом уровне очень много, на самом деле, NG. Если ваш противник из первого ящика найдут какое-нибудь оружие, от которого вы не сможете отмахаться, то это очень сильно порушит вам время.
If you know what the donation referenced earlier about me grinding for the 48, it's because of this shortcut. This shortcut really isn't marathon safe, but you know, but for the culture, for the show, we gotta do it. There is a lot of RNG involved in this, and there is the fact that it's probably the hardest skip in the game. I think I'm the only person that does it in runs, and that there's probably a good reason for that. So here we go. First of all, I'm going to turn around and try and get a mask. This is the RNG portion. I will explain the rest of the trick once I get it. Or fail it.
Я так полагаю, это тот скип, о котором ты говорил, Мэтью Хик.
Oh my goodness gracious me. Okay, so
Я точно помню, что я это уже делал. И не раз. Но да, это довольно сложный скип, потому что нужна маска. Хочешь сказать, что я видел таз? Интересно. Ну да, это, наверное, не один, а самый сложнейший скип, в принципе,
because there is a boss here, luckily, so I have time to explain it.
Который еще и завязан на рандом.
Basically, to get the speed required to make it, I require a mask. Then, once I've got the mask, I need to activate it at the right time, because if I activate it too soon, Dingo's speed is too fast, and I can't make the turn to jump onto the wall. So I have to activate it just at the right time. I have to jump to a certain point on the wall, and then I need to U-turn accurately, and I'll explain U-turning later on in the run when it's more potent.
Какой же у него прекрасный
просто акцент. That is big enough to make it to the other side of the track. If I land too close to the wall, it will not work. If I land too far right, I can drive, but it won't count the lap.
Это же прекрасно, я обожаю британский акцент.
So there is so much that can go wrong there, and I cannot believe that I've just landed it at GDQ. I'll talk about the rest of that track in the boss race, but for now, Dingo Canyon.
Прекрасный марафон лак, кстати говоря, без сарказма.
Okay, Dingo Canyon.
Показать еще и такой скип на марафоне.
A little bit of a breather for Hub 2. There's a few speed ghosts, but not too much else to speak of. There is a speed ghost coming up just here on this downhill, which you can get and then use it to cut across the sand like this. And there is this SG here, and this SG here can go insanely well or give you nothing. That was kind of average. That was like okay, I would say. Yeah, not too bad. The average lap here is about a 27. So anything around there is quite good. Yeah, 27.36 is actually really, really good. Anything sub 27.
Тем временем он так и не пояснил, почему играть на PS2. Мне тоже стало интересно.
That's better. That's way better. You notice the difference in speed? And here I go. I'm able to froggy it all the way to here. That was awesome. That was really good. that kind of made up for the lack of a sand SG at the start of the lap, and it'll probably be around the same as lap 2. It's a 26. Wow. Okay. Wow. I am amazed.
Не, ну
Okay,
если бы он,
26
если бы дело было в
in Dingo
загрузках, он
Canyon.
бы уже об
That's
этом
an awesome
сказал.
lap. And now we have Papu. I will be playing that track again. However, I will not be doing that shortcut again because, fun fact, in boss races it is impossible to get masks.
Так,
So
второй
I will not be doing it.
босс.
However, I can now explain what I was doing on lap 2 and 3 last time. So what we're going to do in this level is combine a multitude of unintended and intended shortcuts. 3 to be exact. There are basically 3 shortcuts that we combine back to back to back. 2 are intended, 1 absolutely isn't. Once again involving the wall that we used for the Tiziano. And here we go. So we're going to use this intended shortcut and this intended shortcut. What isn't intended is jumping on this wall and skipping to the end of the lap. If you noticed, I dropped that TNT there because Papu drops potions as his infinite items, similarly to how Ripperoo dropped TNTs. And if he hits the TNT, which he did, if you pay attention to his character portrait on the left, it flashed red, which indicates that he hit it. There are no longer potions on this section because he cannot drop items while
Hypnoshark
he has a TNT on his head.
скинул
Which is
TNT
just
там
excellent.
на той стороне, где
That's a
обычно
very
ездят,
niche strat. Shoutouts to, I believe it was Natty.
чтобы
Found that, who actually did a run on
лишних
GDQ
зелий не
this
было на
game,
трассе,
about
чтобы
4 years.
не нужно было их объезжать. Это вумпа-фрукты. Специальные фрукты, которые для вселенной придуманы. Так, кажется, мы вернулись.
The first of 2 snow tracks in this run.
Я полагаю.
Blizzard Bluff is really short, however, it has a lot of
Chart,
tech and
chart.
shortcuts in it. 9 to be exact, 3 for each lap. Here is one of them. This is absolutely intended, and this isn't. This is the rail shortcut.
Так,
That is the most likely
вы
shortcut to fail.
починились, я надеюсь.
And this, I didn't even mention on that one, but this is
Дорогие
the
мои.
other shortcut. Very simple little alcove.
Все у всех работает?
I have a shield item, so I don't need to worry about this boulder. Not that I had to anyway.
Отлично.
And again, doing
Так,
the lake shortcut and doing the rail shortcut. How I'm doing
Так вот.
that rail shortcut, by the way,
Здесь есть рейл-шотка.
jumping as I reach the off-road,
Мы
and
перепрыгиваем
then I'm
заборчик.
buffering my second jump by simply mashing R1. That's the same way that Froggy
Увеличивая
works, by the way.
высоту
When I
прыжка,
mash jump, the only reason that's possible is because
еще раз мэша, нажимая
so here I'm
прыжок,
just mashing R1 the entire time, and it gets me over there. An incredibly good
это
block,
позволяет
109
следовать нам
on
небольшую
the
часть пути.
timer. That's really good. Yeah, this run is wow. Okay. Next up is Dragon Mines, and okay, I need to point out what I just did there. Again, I wasn't expecting to get that. The first 2 hubs, Uka Uka, spawns in and gives you hints. It's the things I was skipping earlier by mashing triangle. What I just did there is when Uka isn't going to give you a hint, in the last 2 hubs, for instance, you can mash the start button, and if you're lucky, you can get a 1-frame pause, which skips the Uka dialogue where he says, "Congratulations, you win a trophy." That's incredibly useful because it saves about 2 to 3 seconds every time you get one, and you get to do it 6 times in the run. So that's 1 out of 1.
Резина на снеге остается.
Very good.
Ха-ха.
Dragon Mines, this track is very complex, very technical because of this shortcut here. You
Драконьи...
have to do a U-turn, which I will explain now.
Я забыл
Basically,
слово
what a
«майнс»
U-turn is
на русском.
is
Звучит
you hit down a direction, either
шахты.
left or right,
Вот,
and square.
слово. Прекрасно.
And what that does is it
Это
sharply
довольно
turns your
комплексный
character, no matter
уровень,
what
и
character
в
you are,
нем
no matter what
применяется
turning
много
stat they have.
техник вместе.
And what happens is you lose your reserves, but you turn really sharply. Basically, the moment you hit square, you lose your
Ну и,
reserves.
помимо всего
But
прочего,
it's worth
прекрасные
it for moments like this.
циклы, которые
Sacrificing your reserves
могут
isn't a
нам
common
все
thing,
испортить.
but it is done for
Разве
certain skips
комплексные?
and shortcuts
Потому что
when it's
комплексные
worth
есть
it,
числа.
and that is one example. I should explain actually while I drive to the next track that the reason I'm playing as Dingo, if you saw the 2017 GDQ run done by Natty, as I unfortunately miss a pause there, if you saw that run, he was playing as Coco, and you may be wondering why the choices for character are only Dingo and Tiny, and that's because soon after that run, not too long at all actually, about 6 months after-ish, we discovered some strats for Dingo and Tiny that made them optimal.
Правда, деформация это плохо. Плохо и привычно. А очередной нереалистичный трек, где остаются следы шин на снегу.
This is a really big run killer. This is the easier shortcut, by the way. You turn around and then jump off and over the chasm like that.
Прекрасный прокат.
That's the easier shortcut. It's still really hard, but it's easier. What I'm gonna do now on lap 2 and 3 is called a boomerang. Basically, why it's called that is because you skip the turning around of the turbo pad like I did lap 1, and you simply
Не
go
совсем понимаю,
for it,
почему называют его самым
and you
простейшим
loop
скипом.
back on yourself, hence why it's called
Ну, хотя если
the shape of the shortcut.
шорткаты не считают скипом, даже те, которые не были придуманы разработчиками, то, наверное, да, это самый легкий скип.
That's one. That was really clean. I went really high there. That was really,
вышла
really
легкая
nice.
версия, я, значит, прослушал.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. And now for
Thanks
lap
to you, chat.
3, where we will hopefully repeat that feat. But let's see here. So, again, you can actually get an SG off that downhill like that by doing a double
Да,
jump
русские участвуют.
off the initial lip and then combining it into an SG or a speed ghost. That's very nice. You can get another one there. Basically, any downhill you can get a speed ghost off of. And here we go. Lap 3 boomerang. Here we go.
Немного гостинга.
Unfortunate. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what my world record does, actually. It just slightly messes up a lap 3 attempt. Still made the easier one
Плюс
as the
секунды.
backup strat, which is good, but this run is no longer absolutely perfect. Oh, what a shame. Yeah, that's our first mistake, but I mean, I can't believe it
Но,
took that
в конце
long,
концов,
to be
это
honest.
первая ошибка, которую он завершил, господи, допустил. Так что около 7-8 секунд он только потерял.
So, earlier I mentioned that Hub 4 used to be the hardest hub, and now Hub 3 is. The reason why, I'm lucky to not get paused there, the reason why is because we discovered a skip in Tiny Arena, and if you get it, you save 45 seconds.
Они открыли скип, который, если вы сможете его сделать, если я правильно слышал, 45 секунд, но у него будет только 2.
This is the main run killer. Tiziano earlier is like
Я теперь хоть его наконец-то увижу, а то я его раньше не видел. Я надеюсь, что я увижу, и вы тоже.
It was found in 2019. No, that's a lie. It was found in 2020, excuse me, mid-2020. And it requires getting a nitro, which is a bit of RNG involved here. And then it requires placing that nitro next to a wall and using the nitro to jump over the wall, get the lap count, and skip basically the entire lap of one of the longest tracks.
Слышал и
So, yeah, it's
знаю еще английский, мы используем нитро как буст вверх, но, судя по всему, попытка прокрутить весь уровень профукала.
Unlucky. That was definitely my fault. Basically, the nitro needs to be placed in a very specific spot. It can be placed in multiple spots. Multiple spots do work, but each spot is kind of specific.
Ну, что поделать,
And
надеюсь,
then
мы
you have to
увидим.
have the right angle when you hit the nitro. That was my fault because I drove.
Там нужен
too
очень
fast from
специфичный
that.
угол
Sadly.
и
I was a
очень
little bit
правильное
too far
место
left,
нужно
so
поставить.
kind of stuck underneath the lip in the wall.
Что ж,
But we have
нитро
another
есть.
chance. We have another chance. So, yeah, here we go. The reason why, by the way, you need to do lap 1 normally is because it activates all the loading zones in the level. If you don't do a full lap before doing the shortcut, the game will recognize that you're not supposed to be where you are and will respawn you. But because we already drive past it, where we're going to be landing, the game thinks it's okay
Поскольку
and only counts the lap
игра
once I've
не
landed,
совсем
which is the
до
reason it's
конца догружает
okay,
нужные объекты и может ругаться, нам нужно сначала первый круг доехать,
That's not the best nitro in the world, but
все загрузить, как я понял. И
what a shame. What a shame. What a shame. Oh well, it's all good.
вот ошейник.
It's all good.
Капа.
I tell you what, just for swag, I think I'm gonna go for it lap 3. Yeah, the game gave me the TNT first try. Okay, I'm gonna lose time going for this. I could just finish the race, but for the culture, you know, you gotta do it.
Игра дает ему третий раз нитро, и он решает потратить свое время, чтобы показать, пытаться еще раз. За это честь и хвала ему, так сказать.
But I got the
Здесь
shortcut
получится.
in Papu, in Papu's Pyramid, excuse me. And then failed this 0 for 2. That's insane. But, oh well,
Ну,
it
как
happens.
бы
Okay.
марафон лак
I'm
все
gonna lose
расставляет
time,
места.
but in an attempt to show off what the shortcut should look like, I'm gonna go for it one more time.
В пирамидах
I'm
Папу
miles
он
ahead of
сделал
the
с
AI,
первого
so I'm
раза,
not in any
здесь
danger of losing the race at all.
попытка номер 3.
Let's go for it. Let's try. Try and swag. Why not? Give it a go. That's not a bad nitro. I don't hate it. No. The game really did not want me to do that. Oh well, it happens.
Грустно,
Alright.
грустно.
I do believe during this
Ну,
boss cutscene,
3
by the way,
руины,
you have time for a
к
few
сожалению, но
donations.
что поделать.
Definitely. We have a $50 donation from Freeze that says, "Is it crazy? How long have you come this last 2 years and now you're here? Your best moderator wishes you a good luck. Hopefully Tiny Arena won't do a top rope elbow drop on you." Anyway, I love you, Hypno Proud.
Much love.
We also have $100 from Shadow Game that says, "Best of luck, Hypno. So amazing to see you at a GDQ." And then we have
Thank you.
Iceborne Queen donates $50. They say,
голос
"Gotta donate
Ватл,
for that
который
tizzy.
себя не представляет
Absolutely
ничего,
loving the run, Hypno."
кроме
Thank you.
скиллов
Okay, so
раннера.
this next track. Oh, sorry to cut you off.
No, you're good. Don't worry about it.
Просто едь вперед.
This next track, you've already seen it. It's a boss race, but Dragon Mines once again. Again, very technical. Hopefully we can get 10 Wumpa, because I actually have a boost item, which is a 10% chance, I believe, in first, which is actually useful here. Usually a boost item isn't that useful because it gives you the same amount of speed that you have just going off a regular turbo pad, such as this green and black one you see in front of you. However, because this track involves a U-turn through the minecart shortcut, there is actually a place where I won't have turbo pad fire. Hello Nitro, how are you doing? By the way, Komodo Joe places nitros. I should mention this. Hello, minecart. How are you doing? That's an unlucky
Немножко
cycle, but as I
нитро.
said,
И
we
баф
have this boost item to use. Use it
от нашего
instantly after getting
противника,
out the
которого мы не
minecart.
видим,
We
в
can
принципе.
froggy up this hill here. No nitro around the corner. Very good. And we finish and cross the line. I should mention, in that track, you do not want to hop over the finish line. There is a glitch where if you jump over the finish line, the lap just won't count sometimes. The game will get confused.
Единственное, но здесь вы не хотите перепрыгивать через финишную линию, потому что существует баг, когда он не засчитывает круг. Особенно слева, то есть можно перескочить диагонально. А это нам не интересует.
Final hub of the game. This hub is ridiculously hard. We call it the Gauntlet, and well, there's a very good reason for that, especially the last 4 or 5 tracks. But starting with Engine Labs, which is a bit of a warm-up, I suppose, for Hub 4. It's definitely the easiest track in Hub 4, but it's by no means easy. This is going to introduce a new tech called USFing, or Ultimate Sacred Fire. I don't know who came up with that name, but whoever did, I just have no words. Basically, you go off a turbo pad and you don't jump, and you get a huge amount of speed, such as this. For some reason, some turbo pads in Hub 4, and Hub 4 only, mind you, if you don't jump off them, they can give an insane amount of speed and translate whatever reserves you have into how long you keep that speed for. So as you can see, I've been boosting pretty much this whole level because I'm going to jump off this and then not jump. And then as you can see, I get an insane amount of speed and I'm just able to cut every corner. 45.93 is a pretty good lap time as well.
Очень много скорости, которая позволяет
and then get back to this turbo pad.
Просто проезжать по
That's pretty much what this level is based upon.
углам.
You're going to see this again in the next level, Cortex Castle as well. But you will not see it in the last 2 levels because even though there are USF pads, we actually do unintended skips that skip over them, and you just won't see them. So Engine Labs and Cortex Castle, which is the next track, will be the place where you will see USFing. 42.20, that's actually a really good lap, and that is a really good speed ghost. I mean, you see the speed. Yeah, that's awesome. A 9-second lap, like not a 9-second lap, but 9 seconds on the lap reaching that USF pad is really good. And then hopefully you can get a froggy out of this.
Ну, один из самых быстрых, так будет правильно сказать.
And then keep reserves again for the USF. A very intricate track, which puts a lot of emphasis on getting your reserves nice and high and then burning them all on the USF. So again, then don't jump.
Герой был выбран голосованием. Тайни Тайгер проиграл там сколько? Процента 4, если я правильно помню.
I haven't done that all run. I don't know why I decided to now. Go figure. Then we'll go for a pause here. Unlucky. Basically, I'm just mashing start and praying the game pauses on the 1 frame. Skip the Yuka dialogue. Okay, Cortex Castle. This, in my opinion, is the most technical track that doesn't have an unintended shortcut in the game. This is very hard, especially if you're playing as Dingo or Tiny, and this track is one of the main reasons that I suggest that you play as Coco or Engine when you're starting out, because their increased turning stat compared to Dingo and Tiny makes all of these 90-degree right angles a lot more bearable. With Coco and Engine, you can kind of improv in this level. With Dingo, you have to
очень много неприятных поворотов в 90 градусов, поэтому обычно на нем, конечно, предпочитают ездить на Коко или на сцене, на сцене, на Engine, как и написал Матвей Хикс, если я правильно прочел, извини, если нет. Но,
Luckily, I
да,
knew the spider
поскольку,
was going to move
как
because of cycles.
вы оба говорите,
These cycles aren't as important,
можно
however,
сделать то же
as the
самое,
ones, let's say,
но
in
на более
Speedway
быстрых,
way back
то
in Hub 1.
почему не сделать на более быстрых?
Because you can actually avoid most of them by simply going on the inside of them, whereas the barrels sometimes, if they just line up awkwardly, they're kind of unavoidable. But the spiders, most of the time, like there's actually a strat here, I wonder if I can pull it off. If that spider was down, you can actually just go in that little crevice like I did there, and not crevice, what's the word? Like in that little gap, I suppose, and you can skip.
Так и
past the
запишем.
spider.
Голосовали
If the
рублем.
spider's down lap 3, it'll be way more obvious what I do, but yeah, this has actually been a really nice castle so far. Honestly, this whole run has been lovely besides Tiny Arena. Tiny Arena has been the one level that's kind of bullied me, but everything else has been really nice, at least so far. So, okay. Coming to the end of Cortex Castle here, and now we have what I would term as the Gauntlet. This is where if you're on world record pace and your run is really good, or even just PB pace, and your run is really good, and you get to these levels, the nerves kick in, your knees are weak, your arms are heavy, and yeah, it's not a great time. Unless you can hold it together, then
Конечно.
it's the greatest time of all. But
Привычка.
starting with Higher Skyway,
Уже.
you will see both of these tracks twice, by the way. One is the penultimate boss, Pinstripe, and one is the final boss, Big Green Alien Boy, aka Oxide. So, a lot of unintended shortcuts in both. Starting with this, you need to drive a certain way up the track to activate checkpoints ahead of time, and
Я
then
правильно
turn
помню,
around,
здесь есть... Да.
and then
Skip.
make this. And you need to stick to the wall because otherwise the game realizes you're
Перепрыгиванием.
out of bounds. The
Но,
reason
как
why I had to
отличает
drive
раннер,
the way
необходимо
up,
в
by
первую
the way,
очередь
is another
зацепить
shortcut. Just turn around, jump over, not too hard. Actually, I'll
чекпоинт.
explain it later because there's another shortcut here. There's 9 shortcuts in this level, 3 on each lap. Hairpin, let's see if we can get it. Lovely. Hairpin saves the least and is also probably the hardest. But, you know, it's worth going for because why not? But yeah, the reason why you need to drive this far is to activate the track down below, because if I don't drive all the way up here and I still do this shortcut, like that, Uka will spawn in, because he'll realize what I'm
Как же
supposed to do
прекрасно
now.
он забивает на все
Similarly to how I
повороты.
explained the Tiny Arena shortcut, if I made it. But yeah, so we do that to avoid that from
Игнорирует полтрека.
Another good hairpin, lovely. Hairpin is a pretty self-explanatory one. You just have to jump at the right time with the right amount of speed. However, it is way harder than it looks because the invisible wall stretches all the way up. So it's quite demanding of your height on the jump, let's say. And just make that one more time. Very nice. I actually thought I may have landed too far up. Oh, and this is
Я
where
помню,
Coco
что в Оксиде там чуть ли не весь трек
there she was
скипается.
again.
О,
that donation
бот и
earlier,
strikes
I
again.
mean, so poetic. I mean, she was right there. She was ready to destroy me, and luckily I just barely evaded to the right. I mean,
They
thank
knew the
goodness.
lore. They knew the lore.
Yeah, they knew. I mean, goodness, she's everywhere. Like, I can't escape. All right. Oxide Station. This is the final trophy race in the game. There are 16 trophies, 4 keys. You get a key for every boss, by the way, in case you haven't picked that up. This is one of the more, or has one of the more complex sections.
Последний
in the
ключ,
entire
последний
run.
трофей.
The first 20 seconds of the lap are all spent on the same section, but it's a bit insane. Again, we're going to activate checkpoints ahead of time by doing the first phase of this shortcut, which is dropping down. And then we're going to do the most dangerous thing of all, which is drive in the oncoming traffic and pray I don't get hit. I kind of got clipped, but I've seen way worse. And then we're going to jump onto the rail again, but this time drop down because we've activated the checkpoints ahead of time. And then we're going to jump to the left and skip another section. Quite possibly the most iconic part of this game, which is the space area in this level where you jump outside the spaceship and it's low gravity. you just completely skip that with that last skip. And by the way, the last skip,
Пора
which
выходить
saves
в
like
космос,
20
кстати, уже.
seconds per lap, is like the easiest
Если я
skip in the
правильно
game.
помню.
I highly recommend learning it before even doing your first run, frankly. I'll point it out to you once again when I do it. When I hopefully do it. I hope I didn't just jinx myself. Just simply jumping to the left like that. And you skip. I mean, you see how much it
Или
saves on the
они
minimap.
нашли другой скип.
The entire bottom right of the
Господи,
minimap
когда
is
же
just
я последний раз
completely
видел этот
obsolete.
ран? Сколько всего
And you end
подобавляли?
up getting 40-second laps on a track that realistically should take a minute 5.
Я приятно
39
удивлен,
actually,
потому
I was
что
really good
на это
lap.
смотреть прям кайф.
We'll see if we can repeat that feat once more. However, we are dropping once again into oncoming traffic, but they're nowhere to be seen. Very good. Now, hopefully, we're just able to make the shortcut. Very nice. And very nice. Very good. Very good Oxide Station, besides clipping Cortex on a lap 1 and barely getting rammed offline. But besides that, I mean, no complaints from me. And whilst we go into this last cutscene, I think we have time for a few more donations right before the end.
Definitely, we have $250
Yeah,
from Purple's
донаты
Pyro
пошли.
fan that says, "Whoa, baby! Been looking forward to this run for weeks now. Sending the best vibes for some speed and some prayers for TA Skip 2. Go, baby, go." We also have a $150 donation from Watfu that says, "Heart." Unicorns Rainbow says donates $50 that says, "Love you, Hypno. Drink water, everyone."
Just in time for a penultimate boss fight, Pinstripe. So, again, like the other bosses,
Pinstripe.
he does throw
И
out
опять, если я
infinite
помню, как он там.
items.
Эйршот там.
However, the thing with this is
Лучшая, в
that
скобочках,
he throws
худшая
out
карта в игре.
bombs. And the reason why this isn't as much of a concern, probably going to regret saying that now, Karma's going to strike, is because unlike TNTs and nitros and potions and so on, they don't stay on the track. The bombs, the bowling bombs, I should say, just explode when they reach a wall or the off-road. And that doesn't really faze us, considering we're always going to be ahead of Pinstripe because of these skips. And so, because
Да,
of that,
методом боли. Проверяют каждую стенку, каждый пиксель.
because of that, this is probably the easiest boss in the game from a standpoint of
Ну,
he doesn't mess you
Не
up.
совсем прям каждый
It's
пиксель,
the
но
hardest track, but it's a boss race probably because Hot Air Skyway
такое
is
больше
insane
скорее относится к тассерам,
as all
наверное.
of these skips, but
Хотя я
yeah,
в
it's
тассах не разбираюсь в слово
probably
совсем. Вот у
the
нас в
boss
чате
that
есть
messes you up
Мелиодас.
the least.
Он
When I
может
land from
подробнее
that
рассказать.
first shortcut of the lap, you can actually get a huge SG off of that downhill that I land on. I'm yet to get one, but I hope I can get one lap 3. It's
Что
very,
такое
very
мэл?
hard and precise to do.
Не
You have
прав?
to land on like very certain pixels. That's the invisible
Опа,
wall I'm speaking
на
about
дно.
on hairpin. It is way harder than it looks because the invisible wall stretches
Invisible
all the way up.
воля.
To be honest, I'm very happy that I'm 4 for 5 so far on that. That's very good. Now that I'm on lap 3, and there's no danger of me running into my items on the next lap, because this is the final lap, I'm going to start posting my items. And I'm going to see if I can get a boost item so that I can make hairpin, and then instantly, that was an okay SG. I was able to do something out of it. Wow, I actually did get a boost item. So that's why you should put your items on the ground lap 3. And then hopefully I can make hairpin and
В
combine this
смысле
into
сам?
instantly getting
Нас
my
тут
reserves back
много.
when I land.
Все
amazing.
разные.
And then I
Там
use
даже
it.
есть
That's beautiful.
где-то
That's 37 lap?
документ.
3801. That's so magnifique.
Вспомнить, где-то как
I love
команда
that.
там
That was awesome.
выглядит.
Okay, and on to the final race in the game. Pinstripe says I beat him fair and square, so I clearly didn't do 9 shortcuts on 3 different laps and beat him that way. No. He said it himself. I didn't cheat at all. And then Oxide does a big speech about how he's going to win, even though he's not, hopefully. I mean, again, I could just suck and lose. That could happen, but ideally we should be lapping him with all the skips and stuff.
Здравствуйте, господин Оксид.
So yeah, here we go. He's actually going to get a head start because he cheats, and this could actually be a problem because there is a chance but he gets in my way for the shortcut. He's not going to do it because he's ahead of me, which is what we want. I need to take a slightly tight line here to avoid getting TNTs going behind him and exploding.
Нам плевать, потому что мы ездим куда хотим. Законом не запрещено.
Aspect of this boss fight. Again, these shortcuts are very, very, like, the first shortcut is very, very difficult. It's the only shortcut in the game I'm aware of, at least, with multiple phases to it, where you drop down for the first part, and then you actually have to make it back on the rail for the second
Мэл,
part.
он, наверное, именно про конкретно тассы. Как он называется? Тасс видео.
And then drop down and activate the checkpoints ahead of time. There is actually a chance. Oxide was just below me there on the other part of the track. There is actually a chance. But Oxide's potions that he throws back on that section and go through the floor and hit you when you're on the top section. It's really dumb, and it's only happened to me twice, but it can happen. And so the last real run killer and the most nerve-wracking stuff when you're on world record pace is the potions on that.
Привет,
Are they in the way of the shortcut?
В скобочках привет, твои поужины.
They aren't very good. They're a little bit
Последний
ahead of
круг.
me, which is very good. I barely lived, but living is good enough. And after the shortcut, we are nearly ready on time. Hopefully I don't mess it up. Very good. Shouldn't mess this up. Awesome. Though that's honestly, besides Tiny Arena, to be honest, if I got Tiny Arena 2 out of 2, that's like nearly world. I'm not even kidding. That's nearly world record. If I didn't mess up Tiny Arena. Of course, Tiny Arena had to Tiny Arena.
Как говорит Hypnoshark, если бы он не налажал с Tiny Ариной, то это было бы очень близко сейчас к мировому рекорду. И плюс клапа, таймер не остановили, ну да и ладно. Рад, что мы не увидели целиком скип на Tiny Арине, только поняли ее суть.
Maybe like a 51:10. If I was to guess, I don't know what time I got, but if I was to guess,
you had, if they stopped it, I think, I don't know, 50, I want to say it was 50-50, but 50-51.
I'm a happy man. 50? Oh my, okay, that's, wow. I got a 50 and I went for Tiny Arena on lap 3 when I could have just crossed the line, but I wanted a swag. So, I mean, it would have been a 53x, but, you know.
Итак, дорогой чат, я вас предупреждаю. Следующая игра будет арахнофобской, поэтому называется веб. Да, веб. Так что те, кто боятся спудров, бегите. Бегите, голубцы.
That's like, what, a 49:20? Oh my gosh. Wow, okay, that's... Yeah, I'm really, really happy with that.
It looks like they shaved seconds off of you, so I believe it became a 49 or 47.
Yeah. Сопровождать вас будет.
They must have done a light start.
Yeah, that would have been... That would have definitely been like a low 49. Wow.
Надеюсь, у него все в порядке.
That's awesome. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's a glitch showcase to be done. Am I right?
Yes.
That is correct. Hell yeah. Okay. Alright. So, I guess I'll start this off by saying don't go anywhere, because it's going to get a little bit insane. It's going to get a little bit insane. So, you can see the file I'm in right now. 4 keys, 16 trophies.
Он решил показать Battle Arena Glitch.
Now, I didn't save my game. And I left. So that should be it for that save file. Like, I didn't, you know, I didn't save it. However, if you have 2 controllers and you go into battle mode, let's say I set player 1 as, I don't know, let's say Tiny, because, you know, the donation incentive didn't get Tiny. So let's say Tiny for the Tiny fans. You set out like this. You have player 1 in team 2 and player 2 in team 4. And for some reason, this gets glitchy. You set it to life limit mode, and you set it to only potions. This part isn't as necessary, but it's the quickest way to do what we want to do. You hit start battle, and now I'm going to play as player 2. I'm going to play as player 2, and I'm simply going to hit myself 6 times to be exact. 3 times in each battle. And what this is going to do, as you can see straight away, things aren't exactly right. You've got player 1 in 4th and player 2 in 2nd when there's only 2 players, and 2nd hit himself, so he should lose compared to 1st. Anyway, if you do this twice, or 3 times, or 4 times, or 5 times, this is actually a wrong rule. And what this is going to do is this is going to walk us to anywhere we want in the entire game. Again, I cannot explain why this exists. It's just an oversight, I suppose, but setting the teams up in this specific way, player 1 in team 2, player 2 in team 4, does this. Now, if I hit change setup, and I hit start battle again, you would think it's just going to put me back in Rocky Road, the battle arena I was just in. However, yeah, I'm back in my file. The file that seemingly was lost, I'm back in, for whatever reason. Now, let's say I wanted to do a track now. If I wanted to do a track now, I could go into RUSC tubes. I'm not going to go into Crash Cove, because fun fact, only 5 tracks in this state don't crash the game. RUSC tubes is one of them. So we're going to go into RUSC tubes, because why not?
Только 5 треков сейчас не сломают.
Again, you're gonna see some problems.
Игру?
And by some, I mean many. So straight away, I'm the only racer. The battle mode, like 3 lives, is there instead of the lap count. And if I hit myself, it goes down to 2. And it goes down to 1.
Количество кругов у нас есть количество жизней сейчас.
3 laps in this state, the exact same thing happens as I'm going to show now. If you hit yourself 3 times, yeah. So this is fun. All things are happening. Dingo's eyes are pixelated now. There's just a 1 per icon, just vibing. The loading screen is there. Who knows? If I hit retry, my exhaust is all weird and all pixely, and so are my tires, and so is everything. Also, the menu is for the battle mode. I can't exit to the adventure mode arena. I can only go to the main menu now. So,
Как же
with
это
these
ломает игру?
pixelated messes, I suppose, I'm now going to show off another glitch. Nice. All of my icons are just pixelated. It's wonderful. So, I'm going to show off another glitch now. This glitch was discovered earlier this year, and it is an absolute rabbit hole. It's insane. So first of all, you can store a menu by leaving it away you're not supposed to. I'm going to hit start on my controller and then X 1 frame after it. I think I got it first try, actually. I wasn't actually expecting that. And what that's going to do is it's going to store that in memory. And
Мы сейчас сохранили в памяти, что мы находимся в меню.
To Rampage Ruins, and what this is going to do is it's going to like almost overlap, I guess, and store another thing in memory, that being Rampage Ruins, and it's going to have a knock-on effect. And let's just say things get interesting. As you can see, I have this menu stored, so I can quit to the main menu in Rampage Ruins. Again, you're not supposed to be able to do this, so it stores Rampage Ruins in memory. And now you see the problem. There's just a knock-on effect forever now. And now if I enter a Dingo Canyon token, let's say, which is what I'm going to do, it's going to store Rampage Ruins in memory. And that means when I enter Dingo Canyon token, it's going to act like Rampage Ruins, which is where the main glitch here comes into play. You see, for some reason, and this I truly cannot explain,
Как она работает,
for whatever
непонятно.
reason, grabbing a Wumpa fruit in this state acts like you grabbed a crystal. And so it automatically ends because the count is 0, 0 out of 0. So if you grab 1, it instantly ends because it's more than 0.
И если взять Wumpa
And
fruit,
this is the thing I don't get. If you grab this Wumpa whip, nice CTTR reference. If you grab one of these Wumpa down here, as you can see on my left, I can grab any item from the game's
то
inventory for
можно
myself.
поднять
And I do mean
абсолютно
any
любой
item.
айтем.
So let's say that I want to grab a boss key, or I want to try to, and this isn't consistent, so I could fail it. But if I hold break X and mash circle, there is a chance that I get a Komodo Joe or Pinstripe boss key. I now have 3 keys, but only 8 trophies, and I
О,
have the
господи.
Komodo Joe boss key without
3
being him,
ключа, но
because I just took it from the game by hitting that one per
8 трофеев.
Again, I
Сперли
have no
ключ.
idea why that is the case. But again, we left that level without doing what we should do there, which is completing all 3 laps and finishing it the intended way. So another knock-on effect happens, and now it's going to saw Dingo Canyon trophy token in Blizzard Bluff trophy with all the pixels and all the mess. And now, even though I entered a trophy race, there are letters here which you can grab. And if you're wondering,
что
is
с
this
игрой
useful in a
случилось?
speedrun? You betcha. This is the main foundation of the current 101% unrestricted route.
Я просто
We've
в
utilized
шоке.
this glitch 8 separate times for 8 separate trophy visits. And the reason why this is so important is not only can you grab any item you wish, you can also, and this is like insane, you can get tokens and trophies from playing the level once. Because tokens and trophies are very similar in the way that they both end after finishing 3 laps. Oops. Luckily that didn't happen in the run. Because they're very similar in the way that they finish, which is just...
Я не совсем понял, что сейчас мы должны поднять, подняв все буквы CTR.
Get both items, both the Blizzard Bluff token and the Blizzard Bluff trophy from this glitch. And we also got the Komodo Joe key from
Но, судя по всему, мы должны то ли все трофеи поднять,
Dingo Canyon
то ли...
glitch. So it's absolutely crazy. It's nuts. I'm really happy that didn't happen in my run. Apparently I've now decided to just suck. It's fine though. And as you can see, when I cross the line, it's gonna give me the token. And when I get out of the level, it's also gonna give me the trophy. Like so. And if I check my pause menu, I have both the trophy and the token from just 1 visit, and I also have the Komodo Joe boss key by not
Вот это уже сломанная игра.
by just winning. And as you can see, I can actually access the last world. I think that's a good place to wrap it up. I think
Я очень рад, что я это увидел, потому что это невероятно стрёмно, странно и непонятно, но в то же самое время очень весело. Надеюсь, вам это тоже понравилось. Этот шоу-кейс.
Yeah, if you want to speedrun this game, there are plenty of tools out there, speedrun.com/CTR. There are guides, there are all sorts. If you want to see more of this, I stream pretty much every day, twitch.tv/hypnoshark. And,
собственно,
wow.
Hypnoshark стримит на Твиче почти каждый день. Вы можете к нему заглядывать.
this world
Поскольку
fiasco
чувак
that we're
очень
living
клевый.
in. Yeah, and thank you so much for having me again. It means a lot. And yeah, cheers.
Да.
Thank you.
А дальше игра Webbed.